welcome to the Morning Stand-Up. I'm Stacy K, and I'm joined here by...
Hey, I'm Patrick Moore. I am the movie critic on Great Day KC on Fox 4.
So I brought him on for obvious reasons. Dune 2.
Dune Part 2.
Let's talk about it. What was your favorite part in Dune?
Like the original Dune, or we're talking about the new Dune?
Dune 2.
Dune 2. I don't know. I did overall like it more than the first one. But again, I will say, we were talking before we started filming, I did not read the books. So, like, I have no frame of reference for anything, which is why I appreciated the first one, because I felt like it was accessible for people.
You did?
I did.
Because I feel like a lot of people, people that I've tried to make watch Dune, were like, I'm confused. I don't really get this. It's just all desert. Like, I don't... Some people were confused by it, but like I loved it. I thought it was great.
To me, not knowing anything and watching it, I felt like I understood what was going on. So I appreciated it for that. But yeah, this new one, I don't know. It was cool to see Zendaya in it more, since she's kind of just at the end of the first one.
You know, this is Zendaya's third T4T relationship on screen. Oh yeah, okay. Trans. I'm calling Timothée Chalamet a trans girl.
Okay, I could see that. Yeah, he's a beautiful,
because
beautiful person.
She's dated, Hunter Schafer from Euphoria.
That's right.
She dated Tom Holland from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And now Timothée Chalamet. So that's like three for three for her. She's got a type for sure. Dune, the way people understand it, like when I first saw the first Dune, like I went with people and they were like upset that it was like a white savior type thing, like the colonialist themes, like as if the movie was portraying that as good, they're the bad guys, like you don't understand, they're colonizers, like that. We're supposed to see it that way, we're supposed to have those feelings. And in the second one, it got even more intense with the way they kind of got in with the Fremen and all that kind of stuff. And I've been seeing some analysis, like people like mad at like Lady Jessica for doing like tattoos and like appropriating their culture.
That's funny.
And it's
I haven't heard that.
That's the point,
Right,
like
that is what they're doing.
Right, she's trying to manipulate these people into doing a holy war. Like that's the whole point. Also, spoilers, by the way, if you watch this and weren't expecting us to talk about Dune Part, just skip to the end of the video and you won't catch any Dune spoilers. But, the script's out. Everybody knows what happens anyway.
I guess there is like a book too, right?
Yeah, there's a book. And the movie was really, both the first and the second were very faithful to the original book. A few like key details changed, like...
Because that's the thing, right? Both movies are based on just the first book, right?
Yeah, just the first book, so...
Because I watched the original one for the first time. I had not seen the 1984 Dune before.
Yeah, me neither.
And
I saw clips from it. It looks bad.
Recently, and it's like they try to put both the whole book in one movie, and it's like 2 hours and 14 minutes. So it's like there's a lot of bad narration and things that they put in there to kind of like try to explain some
things. Tell the audience exactly what's happening.
Yeah, so
I felt like this movie was great, and these two movies were really good about not directly telling you shit. Even though the book is written like a historical like manuscript, like.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, it like almost every chapter has like a little note from the historian.
Okay.
About like. Okay, we're back, guys. We had an interruption because Floofcat attacked the camera and broke it, so we're still here. We're still.
We're back in business.
God, the ghost of Steve Jobs is cursing my iPhones. I swear to God, this is not the first time this has happened. I've lost whole podcast shit because it stopped recording. That's not talking about Dune, is it? We were on such a good roll. We were going into Dune and how it reflects the Israel-Palestine conflict and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We really got into we were really getting into it, and now did you like how he got blue eyes later? Wasn't that cool? That's pretty neat.
We were all very excited for that. We were all waiting for it.
We were so pumped for blue-eyed Timothée Chalamet. The audience got up and like cheered. It was like a standing ovation whenever his eyes turned blue the first time.
He was really good in this movie, and like I will say, like he can be hit and miss for me, like just as an actor.
What's a miss for you?
The Wonka movie.
Well, that's a terrible movie.
It was a really bad movie.
They got him to lend. How are you? I've seen some scenes from that movie, and it's just pure garbage.
It's not
that
good.
would be the hardest part of being like an actor, is having shit projects like that.
Yeah.
And go like he went on SNL and promoted it on SNL. Like
Yeah.
with his face on fucking SNL, he was like, "I'm in Wonka and it's good," you know? Like,
I get that, whatever. I guess if you're a young movie star, you need like franchises, right? Because those are the only movies that get made. But like, the thing that makes Willy Wonka interesting, right, as a character, is that he's kind of mysterious. You don't know much about him.
Yeah,
he
but
also
then
has this whole slave labor thing with the Oompa Loompas. And
the less you know about the Oompa Loompas, I think, is better.
Probably better, yeah.
They should just be mysterious orange guys, and I don't really want to know where they came from.
And also, the music wasn't good either in it, because it was a musical.
What was the scene that was with the balloons and where he was like he picked up balloons and was like float walking around.
Yeah.
I watched that scene and it's just absolutely ridiculous.
That was all you needed to see.
I can't believe they made a whole movie off of that. They gotta stop making Wonka movies.
Do you like Timothée Chalamet as an actor?
Yeah, I do. I think I've never seen him in something that I thought he did like bad in. I've never seen Wonka, but he was great in Little Women.
Little Women, I love that movie's amazing.
Yeah, I love that movie. What's her face? The girl who was also in Dune, the white girl that he proposed to at the end of the movie. She also
Florence Pugh.
Yeah, she was also in Little Women with that scene between them two.
Yeah.
Whatever. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? For a second, because Anya Taylor-Joy is like in this movie. She plays Paul's younger sister. She's not actually like really. He sees her in the future, right?
Right.
And I was like confused. I was like, I don't think that was, because I thought that like Florence Pugh was Anya Taylor-Joy. Like it mixed my brain up.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, I do not remember that. I distinctly remember that wasn't Anya Taylor-Joy. And I felt like I was going crazy for about 5 minutes until Florence Pugh showed back up, and I was like, oh yeah, right, okay, yeah, so she's someone else. Okay.
I think people online really wanted her to play the part that Florence Pugh had.
I think that people overstate how much they like Anya Taylor-Joy because she has really distinctive, giant, widespread eyes that are very good for internet pictures. But Florence Pugh is great. Like she's
really good.
She killed it in Don't Worry, Darling, even though that was a terrible movie.
Well, that was a terrible movie.
Yeah, it didn't really make a bunch of things didn't really add up for that movie, but it was good for the first 20 minutes until you realize, like, oh, this is kind of stupid. Like,
right, that's like it should have been like a 20-minute Twilight Zone episode or something. That's about what it should have been.
A whole movie out of it. It's crazy.
And like it was asking a lot of Harry Styles. Like his limited ability as an actor, that was asking too much from him, I think.
That movie was so. But that movie, made Obama's top movies of. Is it his top movies or the movies that he watches every year?
I think it's his top movies or his favorite movies.
His favorite
he puts out every year.
He put that on his favorite movies.
That's wild.
Yeah, some people don't believe that Obama. Do you think Obama actually puts those lists out, or does somebody else do it for him?
Well, I think someone else definitely does it for him, but like especially with some of the music, I don't know. It seems like it's pretty well curated. Like it seems like someone's probably helping him out.
I do think that like that's actually Obama's list, and he's just that weird of a guy.
I think he's definitely watching all those things, and he probably liked that movie too for whatever reason.
Don't worry, darling. Obama. The picture of Obama sitting down and watching that movie blows my mind.
Just being like, that was good.
Yeah, like where did he watch that? Like what did he watch it in theaters, or does he have like some really cool home theater system, and I don't know where he lives anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like he probably can't go to the movie theater. He probably has to have like
not.
movies
you would
brought
have to,
to him.
You would have to like clear the theater out, right? You don't want what happened in Inglourious Basterds to happen to Obama, right?
Yeah.
Like how Hitler showed up at that thing, not a good idea. So to say that Obama is Hitler. They're very different people. They're just both politicians. So.
I think Seth Rogen talked about how like Bill Clinton had requested a copy of like Knocked Up to watch in the White House or something.
Really?
Yeah.
No. Knocked Up came out like way later.
Oh, so then he would request a copy to watch it at his house then or something.
Yeah, watch it at his house. That makes way more sense.
Yeah.
What is Bill Clinton doing these days? Where does he live? I like to think that he lives in the Clinton library. Like there's just like a room where
that
Bill
would be
Clinton
amazing.
lives.
Yeah.
They haven't built the Obama one yet, have they?
Have they? I don't know.
I don't think so. Someone needs to look at it. I imagine they would put it like in Chicago, right? Like that's
where I would think it would go.
The place that it would go.
Yeah. No, I don't know what Bill Clinton's up to. I don't know. I don't think he's doing great.
I think he's doing fine.
He's very
I think
old.
It's probably good that he's not in the limelight anymore. camera cut out again right as we were talking about Bill Clinton. So we're going to stop doing that. And now we're going to talk about Jeffrey Epstein and how he relates. And Patrick just pointed out that nobody in the cast of Dune was on the Epstein list. So
and then the recording cut off. So sure. Like maybe then the recording cut off. So maybe someone was. I don't know. But to my knowledge, I think we're Epstein.
The recording's still going, so it must have been the other stuff we were talking about that made this happen.
But yeah, I mean, I thought that, this Dune, I did enjoy it more than the first one. And the first one was nominated for a bunch of Oscars. I think this one will probably get a bunch of awards and things when that comes around next year.
You think Barbie's going to win the Oscar?
I don't think it is. No. I like Barbie a lot, though.
I did not. I hated it.
You hated it?
I absolutely hate it. I mean, there was a lot of components about it that I really liked. But the actual movie, and especially the ending, just did not sit right with me.
Okay.
Like, the Kins tried a revolution, right? And it didn't work. And, like, they all just get to live. That's not...
They forgave the Kins.
Yeah, that doesn't make any... And then Ken just, like... He has too much character growth in a span of about 2 minutes there. You know, at the end, like, he decides he's not going to overthrow the government. He decides... He gets Margot Robbie's like, I'm definitely not ever gonna fuck you, and then he's like, and dealing with that, and then suddenly he's just like cool with it all, because he needs to sell Knuff t-shirts, right? So that didn't sit right with me. And then also like the way that Barbie, because the beginning of the movie, Barbie's like, her whole goal is to save Barbie Land, right? And then after she saves Barbie Land, she's just like, you know what, I'm gonna go back to the terrible world and just be, I'm not going to wear heels anymore. I'm going to wear Birkenstocks, and now I have a vagina. Like, that's...
She really wanted to go to the gynecologist.
That's stupid. That's so stupid. You ended the movie on a joke about her having a vagina?
Yeah. I thought that was great. I loved that.
They ruined Barbie. Her whole thing is she doesn't have a vagina. That's her superpower.
That is true.
She's the perfect woman.
But then, like, people were upset, too, because Margot Robbie didn't get nominated, and then, I guess, whatever, America Ferrera did for supporting actress. Well, but she had, like, more to do.
Neither of them should have been nominated. Like, I mean, they were fine. They were good, I guess, but, like, I don't think that these were Oscar-winning performances. Like... I mean, my favorite movie of last year was Godzilla. I really liked Godzilla -1.
Yeah, okay. That, right? I did not see Godzilla -1. I missed it.
Because it's a Japanese movie?
No,
is that what it is? They
didn't have screenings for it, and like I missed it when it was in theaters, and then I saw
it was a pretty narrow window.
They like
they did a re-release. You
I saw that they put it in black and white. I missed it. Yeah,
it was great. You should definitely go back and rewatch it. But that was my favorite, and I'm not like I do like low key. I really like Godzilla, but the actual movie was... I don't like watch Godzilla movies. Like, I've hated all of the Godzilla movies that have come out in the last 10 years, 20 years, I don't know. But this one was like a really good... And it was about like World War II, like right at the end of World War II, Godzilla comes up, takes out a Japanese base, and then it's like really like a metaphor for the Japanese soldiers like dealing with PTSD from being in World War II and having to like overcome that to deal with Godzilla. And that's the premise, but
they're really not doing that in the new Godzilla movies, or the ones that are like the American versions.
Yeah, the American versions are completely different because in the Japanese, or at least this one in the original one, Godzilla is like this imminent threat. He's like, it's like a Jaws movie where Godzilla's Jaws. Yeah. But in America, we make him like, this is Godzilla, our hero. He's gonna save us all. That Godzilla Kong movie. Have you seen it yet? Do you get early screenings of that?
Oh, so I haven't seen that one yet. I have it coming up, and then I actually went back and rewatched all the other ones, which
all of the old Godzillas.
Not the old ones, the 2014 Godzilla, the ones that are kind of connected now.
The ones that like Kong Skull Island and all that kind of stuff. Did I watch 2014 Godzilla?
That one was like kind of
Bryan
fun.
Cranston?
Yeah.
Are these connected to the Bryan Cranston one?
Yeah.
See, I thought that movie fell off after Bryan Cranston died. They killed him in the first like 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, he dies really early.
I didn't give a fuck about the humans after that.
Yeah,
but I did like the Godzilla parts. I liked when he was fighting those what, like the little crawly, I don't know.
Yeah, that was the best one of the ones that have come out recently. And then there's like an Apple TV show called Monarch.
Oh,
that's
it's so bad.
all about.
Oh, it's so trash. I tried to watch it and I couldn't do it.
I took a break and then I finished it, but like it could have been really good. Like I thought it started off kind of interesting, but I don't know.
About in the middle of the first episode, the main character, she figures out the code for something in a safe.
Yeah.
By combining her birthday with the birthday of his like secret family that he had independently, and that was the code that he used to set that shit up. And I was like, I'm not with you anymore. I'm done.
She guessed it pretty quickly.
Show. Yeah, it was quick too. Yeah. Like, what if we combine our birthdays? And the fact that someone would make that their pin, my two kids' birthdays combined that don't know about each other.
Right. It's really it has some issues, that show.
And it's just boring. I've been trying to watch Halo. Have you watched that?
No. I have not seen that,
you
but
haven't
like
seen it at all?
No. I think I tried to watch the first episode.
Well, you know your favorite parts about Halo, which is aliens and Master Chief shooting the aliens and all the space stuff. You don't see any of that in the movie.
They don't do that, right?
Yeah, the aliens are on screen for like a max of 30 seconds every episode.
I saw that the actor who plays Master Chief, he talked about how it was a mistake that they had his character like have sex with someone or something.
Oh no, Master Chief having sex?
Yeah.
With someone who's not Cortana?
I don't know who
it was
with.
That's messed up. He's supposed to have like cyber sex with Cortana. That's how that works.
So that's like a weird thing that they're doing. I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're following the template of the games.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like so Master Chief in this, he's like a person, and he's like got PTSD, and he's all sad and stuff. And it's like, I don't want Master Chief to have PTSD. He should like be himself and have fun, right? He should be killing aliens. That's what Master Chief does.
Yeah.
And I know why they're doing it, because CGI is expensive and they just need to fill 50 minutes of something with like human actors on a cheap set. But it's so frustrating because, I mean, I feel like the game's cutscenes were better than all of the show put together.
They probably are, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the show is terrible. Okay, back to Dune, though. Dune is a very good movie that we both like and don't see any problematic themes whatsoever with. We think Paul is a great character. He's a hero, actually.
He's the white savior, you might say.
He's the best. He's kind of like a Jesus character, but like if Jesus was cooler,
yeah.
You know?
If he had like a cool suit.
If Jesus did like a bunch of drugs and could see the future and had his eyes change
just
color.
Just had really blue eyes.
Right. And then just dumped his girlfriend for some white bitch that you just met, right?
Yeah, so again, me not being familiar with the books and everything, I was like, oh shit.
You were surprised?
Yeah, I was really surprised. But then like I did go see it a second time, and like I guess he kind of hinted at it where he said he saw a narrow way through, and I was like, okay, I guess there was some kind of like setup there a little bit, but like that did throw me for a surprise.
Yeah, it like I read all of Dune up until like near the end, so I knew most of, and I've read to the wikis of all of like what happens in Dune, and know like the trajectory that Paul goes on in the books. Shawnee stays with him. He has like multiple wives.
Okay.
When he kills that one guy at the end of Dune 1, right? His wife, he got his wife too.
Oh, okay.
So he had a bunch of wives, right?
Did not know that.
Yeah, and Shawnee has multiple kids with him and kind of just stays with him through all this stuff. So that's not. I think it's really cool. I think it's better for her to, walk out on him, and I'm assuming that in the next movie she's gonna like start an anti-fundamentalist cult, right? And I mean, she's definitely gonna be a key character, I think, in the third movie. But I don't really know exactly how it's gonna play out.
Yeah, I had someone tell me that in the books then that like he only has kids with that one.
Does he? I thought he had multiple.
Maybe
but yeah,
he did?
He has a bunch of kids with Shawnee, and I don't know about the other ones.
But like the marriage is kind of more for a show.
I mean, the marriage is...
It's an arrangement.
Like instead of killing your dad, I'm going to marry you, right?
Yeah.
That's because it's very, like, the premise for Dune is, they destroyed all the technologies, all the robots, because... robots, sorry. I was pronouncing it like Zoidberg on Futurama. They destroyed all the robots, and now they're just like back in like feudalistic like information tech. And one thing about the movie that was annoying is they made it seem like they could see the whole planet, right? Like they had like a map of the planet or whatever, and they didn't have anything like, they had like actual like maps, like flat maps that were not like updated real time, because there's no computers to do that kind of stuff. So they didn't know about the Fremen and the, because when I saw the movie, I was like, how the fuck did Baron Harkonnen not know that there was millions of Fremen living in the bottom half of the planet, right?
Right.
He was surprised by that. It doesn't make any sense. They had this map, like interactive real-time map that was showing the whole planet and all the missiles going to it. And in the books, they didn't actually have that. So that makes way more sense than that.
That's interesting. Okay, yeah, because did they try to explain it where they're just like the bottom half just doesn't show up on the thing or something?
Yeah,
or...
because the bottom half has like a bunch of storms and stuff down there, but there's also like water like down in like the caves and stuff that the Fremen can get to. So they're more plentiful in the south than they are in the north. It's just from a Harkonnen perspective, they couldn't like land planes or anything there. So
that's interesting.
That's why they thought that. But I do kind of feel like the movie could have done a better job of like explaining how the Fremen were surviving there, and like how the Harkonnens didn't know that they existed and all that, because it seemed like it went from there's only a few Fremen that like hiding in the caves to now suddenly they're taking over the whole planet out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit like, wait, what happened all in between? I love the scene where he was first talking to the fundamentalists, you know, when he gets up there and starts like screaming, and he has this big deep voice, and he's like preaching or whatever.
Yeah.
He decides not to kill that dude, and everybody gets mad at him. And I can't remember.
Oh yeah, Javier Bardem. He's like, kill me. And he's like, I'm not gonna kill you.
Yeah. That character was. I really like that character because you know he was like Paul's biggest believer. But they played it up to be like funny a little. But
it was there were definitely also, like laughs in the theater.
It was also like not to the point where he's a joke. Like I was watching Return of the King last night, and Gimli is a complete clown. And he was a little bit of a clown in Fistful of the Ring, but in Two Towers and Return of the King, he's just a complete like joke. And you know, I feel like if they could put just a little bit more effort in, they could have kept him as a serious character while still getting laughs out of him. And I think they did a great job. Because
they kind of got laughs with some of the Messiah stuff, right? Where it was just like, oh, he's so humble. That's what the Messiah would say. He would say he's not the Messiah. I almost got a little surprised at how much laughs it got in the theater. Yeah. Because it wasn't like, I mean, you had to understand a lot about what was going on, but it wasn't like a like now's when you laugh, right? It's just the audience figured it out. Maybe, I mean, I saw it on the opening night, so it was a bunch of Dune fans. Totally.
At the thing. Did you get the Dune popcorn?
No, okay, so like I didn't see it at
Shai Hulussy.
AMC. Yeah, but like they're everywhere. I wonder if they sold out, or like I would imagine.
I bet they sell really well.
I bet they do sell well.
I'm
sure they're prepared.
Yeah, I'm sure they got a lot of stuff, but I bet they sold a lot of. I was seeing they're trying to sell more of these things. They did like a Slimer bucket from like Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Right? And it's gross. Like it's
weird to look at.
Yeah, you saw it.
Yeah.
You're supposed to put your hand in his mouth, and I'm not a big fan of that. I think the Shai Hulussy was a lot better.
I mean, I don't know what they were thinking when they did that, but I mean, hey, it wound up working out in their favor, I guess.
Some guy in marketing was a genius for coming up with this.
And it's funny that then, like, in interviews, have to watch, like, the cast talk about it. Where it's, hey, look at this popcorn logo.
Yeah. The cast talked about it?
Yeah.
What did they say?
I think that, they're all very amused by it, as they should be. But, hey, it's all good promotion for the movie.
Specifically, what did anybody say anything funny? You know what anybody said?
I don't know specifically. No. I've seen, like, just
what does
reels.
Zendaya think about it? That's what I need to know. Does she like it? I need to know.
I bet if we could just Google that, like just Zendaya Dune popcorn bucket, I would imagine a lot of things.
I'll look that up after the show. I have to know a lot about my future wife. So.
But like, I do think that they also set it up again for another movie. So like, I hopefully we get a Dune Part 3.
It'll be a while though. Like
he seems like he wants to make another movie.
He does, but you know they definitely haven't started shooting, and 2026 would be like the absolute earliest, more like 2027. They're gonna greenlight a new one, but they haven't officially yet. They hadn't at the beginning of this. They didn't had it in the original Dune either. So like it was like a.
And I think as of right now, I think it made almost $200 million worldwide. I think it made almost $90 million here. Its opening weekend. But like the first one made like I think some $400 million, which was amazing because that's when it was during the pandemic and they put it out on HBO Max the same day.
I saw that one in theaters though.
Yeah, me too.
Empty theater, of course, but
because it's like the one you want to see that on a big screen.
Yeah, it's important because I really like the audio of Dune, the audio design, and it's like very immersive.
Yeah, and like it's amazing.
I love Villeneuve's movies. I love Blade Runner 2049. I watched that in theaters 3 times.
Really?
Yeah, it was one of my favorite movies because it's like so atmospheric and just like almost like meditative. You know? Like it's got a good. It
was interesting to see him do something that was like in someone else's kind of world, like his interpretation of it.
It was way better than the original Blade Runner.
Oh, for sure.
I swear to God.
There are also like 20 different versions of the first Blade Runner.
Well, I mean, all the cuts, all of it together. I saw the good version, of course, and it's like a good movie, but I felt like 2049 was just like a flawless movie, and.
Yeah, Arrival's one I watched a bunch. I love that movie a lot.
The what? Arrival?
Arrival?
Oh, yeah, I love Arrival too. I've seen that a decent amount of times.
And then it was weird how like movies get popular on Netflix that are older. That happened. He directed Prisoners with Hugh Jackman.
Prisoners?
Yeah. Did you see that movie?
Uh-uh.
It's like there's like a pedophile he like ties up in a house and beats him up, and I feel like it caught on with like QAnon on Netflix or something for some weird reason. And like, but it's actually like not a bad. It's pretty good. I think like 2013 or something.
Okay.
And they're like,
so that's what started the QAnon stuff.
Yeah, Paul Dano was like the creepy guy in it.
Yeah, he would play a really good pedophile.
He would, yeah. It's like not too different from what he did in like The Riddler.
I didn't see that one.
Oh, really?
Was he basically a pedophile in that one?
No, he was just kind of he was a weird guy.
He's so good at being a weird guy. No Country for Old Men. I get those titles. There Will Be Blood. Right?
Oh yeah.
There Will Be Blood. He plays a great weird guy in that one.
And to like have to be in scenes with like Daniel Day-Lewis and like also hold your own is like kind of impressive.
Yeah, the way their characters interacted. I mean, it was like the most interesting part of the movie. And they were both like really weird guys in their own respect.
Yeah.
But also like still believable.
Well, then speaking of weird guys, what did you think of Austin Butler in this movie?
Oh, I thought he did great.
He was really good, right?
There were so many good performances in this movie. Like, you try to talk about who was the best actor in this, and it's hard because there's a lot of people who had great like impacts with their like. They could have done a lot worse than they did.
Oh, for sure.
I wasn't sitting in the theater thinking like, oh, you shouldn't have said it that way. That's lame. Like, there's like, oh, this is a cool character,
Yeah.
Oh, I love the scenes on Gidi Prime, the Harkonnen stuff, the fighting. That was shot in infrared cameras. Did you know that?
I didn't.
They didn't just grayscale. It was actually infrared camera because on that planet, the light from the sun is a lot reduced.
Mm-hmm.
A dark planet. So, infrared can see in darkness.
That's
easier.
really cool.
So they shot the whole thing in it, and yeah, it was so cool to see the Harkonnen planet, and that the fight stuff was cool. And
the black goop that they like get in and out of just seems like super refreshing.
The Baron Harkonnen.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so satisfyingly gross.
It is.
Like. When he gets in it, and then it's like part of it is not black anymore. Like it's like there's like maybe black film on the top or whatever. But it's so revolting. Oh, and then when we kissed his Austin Butler, right?
When
they,
yeah.
like made out a little bit.
They did.
There at the end. That was I heard that was ad-libbed.
Oh, that was them just feeling the moment.
Yeah, they were just like, real. Can you imagine? How many ad-lib kisses do you think don't make it on a movie? Like, how often is there an ad-libbed kiss and you're just like, that doesn't
do
it normal
work.
next time.
Yeah. Because that felt like kind of was it the Godfather, like the betrayal kiss, as they were really going at it.
Was it a betrayal kiss?
Or I think so, right?
Was it? No, I thought that he was like his champion or whatever.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to rewatch The Godfather.
So that was whenever he was putting Austin Butler's character in charge of Arrakis, right?
Yeah.
Right. So he was like a promotion.
That's right. Yeah.
Right, and not a bad promotion because the Atreides when they were trying to kill him. The Emperor plan was.
Oh man, when he got Dave Bautista to like kiss his shoes, that
was pretty. Yeah, and Dave Bautista did a great job. You like felt sorry for him.
You did.
But you also like this dude's like a pure psycho.
Yeah.
But also you felt sorry for him. But also like he's still a psycho, and it's probably cool that he got killed and everything. But
yeah.
I love Dave Bautista and everything.
He's come a long way, like as an actor. Like he's really good.
He was in Blade Runner 2049. He killed it there. He was only on screen for like 5 minutes before he got killed. And of course,
that's right.
He's cool in Guardians of the Galaxy, but I think they make his character stupid. Like, he should be cooler than he was in the Guardians stuff.
Well, that's just the whole joke, right? It's just, he's an idiot. He takes things literally.
Like, but they made him into a total clown.
Yeah.
Like, he's still supposed to be like this warlord guy who like kills people and stuff, and he's just this fucking no-brained guy in the later movies. I feel like the first one did a better job of not making him seem like a total idiot. Still, all that kind of stuff. I kept watching, looking at Austin Butler. Like, is that a prosthetic on his eyebrows, or is his brow bone actually that intense?
Yeah, do you think he shaved his eyebrows?
Yeah, see, I don't know. I don't know if he shaved his eyebrows or. Did they put any prosthetic over his eyebrows to give him more of a brow, or is his brow bone just that big?
See, like I think it might just be that pronounced, but maybe there is like some prosthetics there. I don't know.
We should. I'll look it up later. I don't have my phone's recording, so yeah, I couldn't. All I could think of whenever I was seeing him on screen was whether or not that was actually his brow bone. And
did you watch the Elvis movie?
I did not. No.
Okay, that movie's insane.
So he plays Elvis in that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The one with Tom Hanks.
Yes.
Saying he's white.
Yeah.
No, I didn't watch it.
You saw that clip.
See, I know how Elvis movie ends, and it's not good. So.
It's not great. Yeah.
I skipped that one. I do like that he's white. That's a good meme.
It is, yeah, and I mean that's
timeless. We'll be using that one for decades.
I think that's like an 8-minute sequence in like the movie where people just blown
away. Is it a
away.
whole 8-minute sequence?
Yeah, they're just blown away that Elvis is white. Can't believe it.
I mean that is how it would happen. I mean, I guess I don't know if they had it in the movie, but they would always, whenever they would play him on the radio, they would always like bring him on and like. Ask him what high school he went to, so that he could like be like, "Hey guys, I'm actually a white guy singing this stuff." And it's because what was it? It's Mississippi, right?
I think so. Yeah.
One of those places.
But yeah, that movie, there was like an uncomfortable thing that I don't know if that happened in real life, but there was like some weird subtext with his mother in the Elvis movie where he could just keep like, "You'll always be my number one girl, mom." And it was just like, did Elvis fuck his mom? I think that maybe he did. I don't know. But that's just like the undertone of that movie.
That's gonna ruin all of the Elvis songs for me. I can't sing "Can't Help Falling in Love with You" anymore, knowing it's about his mom.
But then, like, I liked the Sofia Coppola movie Priscilla that came out too, which like
Priscilla's about Elvis's girlfriend.
Yeah, and then Jacob Elordi
when did
plays
they release that?
Elvis. That came out this past year.
Was that in the same cinematic universe? No.
No.
Right? The Elvis cinematic universe.
But then, yeah, like Jacob Elordi plays Elvis, but he's not doing like the Elvis impression that like Austin Butler did. Because he really did it. And then that was his whole thing. He talked on the Elvis voice for like 2 years. So I was kind of half expecting him in this movie to just have the Elvis voice. He talked it for 2 years? That's what he said. Yeah.
That's funny.
But he like really campaigned for his Oscar, which he won. So like, it worked.
Wait, he won an Oscar for Elvis?
He did.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, they love it when, like people play a real person.
I fucking hate biopics, dude.
I know. And it's like...
That's one thing about, like, look, I watched Oppenheimer, right?
Yeah.
It was a fine movie. I didn't love it. I didn't think it was particularly special in any way. But it's crazy whenever it's a true story and it's an acclaimed actor or whatever.
Yeah, like Cillian Murphy is winning all the awards. He's so probably going to win the Oscar.
That'd be so lame. If they give Best Picture it's in there for Best Picture, isn't it? Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
I didn't really. I mean, like, I liked it. I watched the movie. I don't regret watching the movie, but I don't think I would really watch it again. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't really stick with me that much. And I felt that I'm gonna get the Killers of the Flower Moon. Okay, I felt the same way. I don't think that Lily Gladstone deserves an Oscar for her performance in the thing. I mean, she was good, and I don't think Leo deserves an Oscar for it. The movie, I mean, it felt just like a film documentary, right? It doesn't feel like a coherent beginning and end movie. There's no real character growth for any of the characters. They're all just the people that we know them from history, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just a true story that happened. And it was, like, well done, but it's just like, man, I really like Godzilla a lot better.
So then, do you think, because I think in the race right now, it's like between Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone for Poor Things.
Emma Stone for Poor Things.
Yeah, did you like Poor Things?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, it was an amazing movie. I have a little bit of a weak stomach. I don't like cutting. I don't like any gore type stuff. And there was some of that in the movie, and I had to like cover my eyes. But overall, I think it was a fantastic movie, and it would make. She did a really good job playing someone who was mentally deficient. That was.
I mean, like, yeah, she was amazing in that movie. Yeah. And I mean, just like the scene where, you know, she's like putting the apple inside her and she's like laughing, and it was just like, what is happening?
I know. I had a girl tell me to go see Port. I didn't look anything up for it.
Yeah.
And
also not knowing anything and going into that is like, yeah.
I knew the premise.
Okay, yeah.
Baby gets put into brain in the mom. But some of the scenes were very uncomfortable at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I was like, how much rape am I going to see in this thing?
Yeah.
You know, like, I started having doubts about this person who told me to watch this movie initially because it was so, but then it kind of got away from that after about 30 minutes in the movie and started more focusing on her.
Yeah, there were some people like upset by it, but like, I mean, I think that's probably part of it too.
Yeah, I do think it was necessary for the movie to like understand like where she came from and all that kind of stuff. But at the time when I was first watching it, I was like, get that off.
Yeah.
I don't want to see this.
And then it's pretty wild to see like Mark Ruffalo play like a pretty despicable like person.
I did not know it was Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
He had a mustache on.
Yeah, he had the mustache on.
Just changes everything for me, and I didn't know it was Mark Ruffalo until after the movie.
And he's really going for it. He's like really like not doing Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, he did a great. I had no idea that he was capable of turning into the Hulk. That really sold it to me that he wasn't the Hulk.
And that's why like Robert Downey Jr. is winning all the awards for Oppenheimer is because it's like he's just not being Robert Downey Jr.
Award for Oppenheimer?
Just because he's like was able to turn down his charisma and play like a normal person. People are like, "Oh my god."
Just because he put on like a bald cap or whatever?
Yeah.
That's lame, dude.
But usually it seems like people don't win for the movies that they should, and then they
never do. No,
and then they always win for like a movie because they were owed one. So then when they win one that they're owed, then it deprives someone else of winning one that they should have won for the movie they should have won for.
And I also feel like Oscar movies, they always feel like whoever wins, it needs to be a bummer movie, right? That wins.
Yeah, almost always.
La La Land got robbed. Okay, that's all. I have not seen Moonlight, and I will not.
Moonlight?
No, I haven't. I'm mad at it because it stole La La Land's best. I mean, La La Land got a fuck ton of Oscars, but it didn't win Best Picture. That was crazy. Whenever that happened, you know,
yeah,
like, they gave the wrong winner. Like that happened in BoJack Horseman.
Oh, really?
Right? Yeah, like it was as a joke. Like 3 years before this happened, like Mr. Peanut Butter. Have you seen any of BoJack Horseman? He went on and got the winner wrong. He said BoJack Horseman won an Oscar, and then like after the show, the people are like, "No, he didn't. Like we have the wrong one." So BoJack thinks he won an Oscar, and then like they come back the next day to take his Oscar from him.
Oh, that's great.
But
then it just came true.
Yeah, and it literally just happened. And while I was watching it live, I couldn't. And I don't usually watch the Oscars through that way, so it was pretty rare for me to be watching it. I felt like I was being punked.
Yeah, I thought La La Land was gonna win. Like that was what I had picked on my bracket that year. But Moonlight is a really good movie.
I'm sure. It seems like a bummer movie, though.
But then it's funny because Warren Beatty's the one who made the mistake with the envelope, right?
Yeah.
And then I just read some story where like he almost fell for a email scam where someone was pretending to be Eddie Redmayne.
That's hilarious.
From like the Oscars or something. Which also like made me just think that was like the plot of like The Beekeeper with Jason Statham, which came out this past year. Where it's just like cyber people like Felicia Rashad from the Cosby Show.
So the whole premise of the thing is phishing people, like email phishing?
Yeah, so like the
That's
kid...
how they keep the bees?
Well, no. So it's like he's a beekeeper also, but then he's a part of a government organization called the Beekeepers. But he's like...
Wait, he's literally a beekeeper too?
Yes.
That is so stupid.
It's really stupid.
Oh
really
my
insane.
God.
Yeah.
I've been watching trailers from that movie, and I can't believe that they're actually making that, you know?
Yeah, so the whole movie is he's living in, this woman's house, and she becomes the victim of an online phishing scam. She kills herself, so then he goes on a vengeful hunt and kills all these online scammers. And it's a ring run by Josh Hutcherson, PETA from
so
The Hunger Games.
Dumb. Okay. Email...
It's really, really insane, but like I enjoyed it because it's so stupid. But like I do love stupid action movies.
So, you know how Taken, the movie, radicalized white women against traveling.
Yeah.
It implied that like trafficking was done primarily like by foreigners to white women.
Yes.
Right? So now everybody's fucking scared of going to Italy or whatever.
Especially since like all teenagers want to follow U2 on tour.
Wait, what?
That's what she was doing in Taken. They were following U2 on tour.
Oh, that's funny. I don't remember that detail. U2. But Beekeepers I don't think has the cultural impact that Taken did, but to think that it's a bunch of this grand conspiracy for email, it's a bunch of dudes in Bangladesh like that are doing this because you can't make much money doing other things. Like that's the real story of email phishing, right? Most of the time.
It is, yeah. Well, then John Oliver just did a thing on that where it's like it can be really sad sometimes. Like they get stuck in having to do that.
Yeah, like that's just the.
But that doesn't make
industry.
An entertaining Jason Statham action movie.
No, it doesn't. I guess you need it to be. The idea that like
it's crypto bros. It's all crypto bros that he's killing, basically.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's just killing them. That's hilarious. It's very funny to think that.
And I think, and Dune probably will, but I think like it was the highest grossing movie of the year. But whatever, we're only in March.
Was?
Yeah. But it came out in February, I think. So like.
Just domestically, there's no way The Beekeeper does well in China, right?
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, I don't think that would have much of an overseas appeal.
It's weird, like the China market used to be huge, and then there were so many like rules and regulations and things that movies weren't coming out in China.
It's still huge, but it's a narrow window for like what could be released.
It's harder
in China.
to like get it released.
So, a bunch of the stuff we make is targeted for China, and like the reason a lot of like for like really big budget stuff, they're always keeping China in mind on like keeping so that they can play it in China and get the numbers.
And haven't there been cases of like Marvel movies or things where like they take out
scenes,
the black
characters?
Yeah, or like same-sex
Star
kisses.
Wars did it. They had a version of the poster that didn't have Finn on it.
That's
and stuff
insane.
Like that.
Yeah.
And in Black Panther, all of the stuff was like covering up.
Really?
They did show Black Panther in China, but they had like I don't know. There was a version of it where what's the actor's name? He's dead now.
Oh, Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, where there was an American version where it was like his face, and then there's a Chinese version where his face was covered.
Oh wow!
Right, and it's just stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's insane. It's like if you're going to see Black Panther, you know who's in it, right?
Right. And a lot of what really does well in China is like big CGI movies.
Okay,
like they love our CGI stuff. So Transformers movies do really well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, also I heard the Lion King remake It's like one of the biggest international sellers.
Really?
It's huge in China and India and Europe, but it didn't do very well. And I mean, it did fine in America.
I'll say like it did like okay here,
Yeah,
but like
knowing stuff like that makes me really black pilled about like the industry, because like I'm so mad they made that movie, because it's so much worse than the original Lion King.
Right.
Like the original Lion King, I feel, was a perfect movie. And then they made a live action version, CGI, that's worse in every way.
Yeah,
they
and it's so
took out
weird.
some of the best stuff from the original Lion King. They made it longer.
They did make it longer.
And it just a huge commercial success overseas, because all these people overseas don't understand how good the first movie was.
Well, and then in the first movie too, right, with the animation, like the characters can have like expressions on their faces.
Yeah, they looked like they had human. They looked like kind of human. You know?
Yeah, and then the live action,
it just
which
looks like
it's
National
also,
Geographic with dubbed over.
And it's insane to like do a live action version of animals, because it's like, well, animals can't really talk anyway, so it's like this is a weird experiment to be doing.
But I think it's like the third highest grossing international movie ever.
I didn't know that. That's insane.
And that's why a lot of the this is a lot of the calculations that like Hollywood execs are making are doing with the international markets in mind, and they don't even care if the script isn't very good in English, because that's not what's going to make most of the money.
Right, just look at any of the Transformers movies, I guess, right?
And like you know, all the monster movies do great in Asia.
Okay.
With all the CGI stuff. So this Kong Godzilla movie, I know it's going to crush in China. Like that's just what's going to happen, even though it's just a dog shit movie. Like,
yeah. It will not be good.
There's no way. Like the trailer looks trash, man.
Yeah, and like the last couple were real bad.
Oh yeah, I did watch. I did watch Kong. I was on shrooms for this movie.
Only should have helped.
I still hated it.
Yeah,
I hated it so much.
That's a testament then to how bad that movie really is.
So bad.
If you can't enjoy it on mushrooms, because there's so many bright colors and things too, right? Like that should have been just so much fun. You should have been laughing your ass off.
I mean, I was, but
it was still a bad movie. Bless you.
Oh, it was so trash. And I heard that this the new Godzilla movie is they're gonna have a buddy cop dynamic between Kong and Godzilla. This is gonna be Nice Guys too, I think. You know.
That would at least be something different. I don't know. And then the one that came out when I was a kid was like the one with like Matthew Broderick, where he was in it. That Godzilla movie.
Was that the 2000 Godzilla?
Yeah, Godzilla 2000.
That had one of the best toy collections.
It did.
I love the toys.
They were cool toys.
And there was like, was it Taco Bell that had the Godzilla toys?
I think so.
Those were good fucking toys, man.
Yeah.
They don't make toys like that anymore these days.
No, that's like, I remember I had like the Wild Wild West, like Will Smith sunglasses I got at Burger King.
Those were fun toys too.
Yeah.
Never saw the movie, but
not a good movie.
I wasn't allowed to see the movie because he said bad words in it, but you know, good toys. That was cool.
Yeah, they don't do like theme songs or like merchandise as much, like a kind of tie-in, I feel like.
Yeah, they don't.
But then
I was thinking about like the Ghostbusters movie. Like,
yeah.
What if they wrote a new Ghostbusters song? Can they stop referencing that original song? Like, they can't stop.
No.
Like, in the trailers, they reference it multiple times.
And then I think for the Melissa McCarthy one, there was like Fall Out Boy did like a cover or a remix of it.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
I bet. You can't remake that song.
No.
It's so iconic.
Yeah.
And it's weird how like so much of our like theme songs and stuff is shit that was made in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like they made a good fucking theme song and we just play it over. Like Power Rangers, right?
Yeah.
Didn't Van Halen do it?
I don't know.
I think that Van Halen did the original Power Rangers thing.
That would make sense.
You know, because it like starts out they're like someone shredding on a guitar.
Yeah.
Like, that's the beginning of it, and it's a great, you know, go Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And they have been fucking coasting on that song for 40 years. Nothing new. I watched the new Power Rangers movie. Did you watch that one?
I didn't.
It was not great. But they did play the theme song for about 15 seconds, and I was there for that.
Okay.
The rest of it was terrible. Krispy Kreme played a pivotal was a pivotal plot point.
That's funny.
Like multiple times in the movie, they were referencing going to like a Krispy Kreme to where the fight was gonna be.
I love blatant product placement.
Yeah, and it was very weird product placement because it was like just where they were gonna fight. Like, we're gonna go meet the bad guys at Krispy Kreme and fight them and stuff like that. But yeah, and it's like, the Ghostbusters theme. They're never gonna make a new one. They're just gonna keep writing that.
And they keep making Ghostbusters movies, and I don't know why.
I don't know why either. This new one looks better than the older ones, but my God, does Bill Murray look old?
He's very old.
It looks like they put makeup on him to look. Dan Aykroyd looks way younger than he does. Aren't they like
the same age? Yeah. I would think, yeah.
Why does?
And then in the last one, did you see the last one?
No.
Okay, like they brought Harold Ramis back, like they had him as like a ghost. And it was like this whole long sequence, and it's just like, man, I don't know if you should be doing this.
You should let it die sometimes. Let's make new stuff.
Right, just make new stuff.
What's another like 80s theme song that we've been just rehashing and going with?
I really like, was it like the Beverly Hills Cop like kind of theme song?
How does that go?
It's like just like a synthesizer, because that's like all 80s stuff. And it's just like do 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 do.
Oh, that's Beverly Hills Cop?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I know that song. The first time I heard or like associated that song with like a movie, it was from what was it? Like Monsters vs. Aliens or something like that.
Okay.
Was that it?
Yeah.
With the tall girl and the slime.
Yeah,
it wasn't
the
a great
slime.
movie.
Yeah, animated movie, right?
The president
of
the United States went to go talk to the aliens, and what he did is he had a synthesizer and he played Beverly.
That's funny.
Why? I don't understand why you would play that to aliens. What is that?
I have no idea. Maybe it's very pleasing to them or something. Yeah, I don't know.
They didn't explain it in the movie. It's just a thing that the parents were supposed to understand, and took their kids to this thing. That movie was trash, and I had to keep watching it because my little sister liked it.
So yeah, that's too bad. The kids' movies can be rough.
They can, and you can tell like parts of the movies are there. This joke is for the adults,
right?
Keep them engaged.
Yeah.
But most of it is just kids shit. I had to watch I would always try to like steer my little sister into watching better movies, right?
Yeah.
I got her hooked on Lion King a little bit.
That's
I got her hooked on Nightmare Before Christmas, and those were the good days. But then she started watching Megamind and started watching Monsters vs. Aliens, and just had to watch that like 3 times a day.
Yeah, that's rough.
That was terrible. I had to watch one time, one of the darkest times of my life. We were driving back from Colorado on a ski trip. We were driving through Kansas on Christmas Day. Okay, so everything is closed down except for the Chinese restaurants. So we ate Chinese, of course, but we didn't want to stop for a really long time. So we were starving in the car, and we rewatched Megamind 3 times in a row, back to back.
That's too much.
Yeah, because my sister was, crying every time. It would just shut her up, right?
Yeah.
And she would throw a fit if we weren't specifically watching Megamind.
Yeah,
so
come on back. We need to watch it again.
I was starving. It was freezing cold. It was, Kansas, flat everywhere.
It's the most boring drive in the entire world.
The wind was terrible. And I just had to sit there and watch this Megamind shit over and over. And there's some good parts of the movie. Like, you've seen Megamind, right?
Yeah, it's Will Ferrell, right?
Yeah.
I think there's like a new Amazon show or something that's like more Megamind.
Oh yeah, they're bringing it back. Jesus Christ.
Gonna give you
that
some
movie,
like
that movie
flashbacks.
was not good enough to bring it back. You
Yeah.
know? Like, we make sequels of everything, man.
Well, yeah, again, make new stuff where we're hanging on to everything.
I mean, sometimes we do make new stuff like Boss Baby and then turn it into a huge franchise.
Yeah.
I thought when that first came out, I was like, that's it. It's a one-off. Like, no one's. And they turn it into a whole cinematic universe of Boss Babies.
There's so many
huge.
Boss Babies.
I've never watched any of them.
No,
but
me
they're
either.
just giant with kids, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, and like I think on the TV show, it's the guy, Flula Borg, I think, who was like in the Pitch Perfect movies, like the German guy. I think he's one of the Boss Babies.
Oh.
And that was also there was a
Kevin Spacey plays the Boss Baby in the second one.
That's hilarious. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know that because I have a comedian friend who has a joke about it. So that's the only way I know. But
Kevin Spacey's in Boss Baby too.
Yeah, he's like the star of Boss Baby too.
That's amazing.
At least as I understand it. Alec Baldwin was the first one, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not going to research this. Actually, I will research this afterwards. I get people on podcasts correcting me sometimes.
That's just what they do.
Yeah. One person corrected me. They said that nobody landed flights in Cuba from the 40s through the... People would hijack flights back in the day. Back before 9/11,
yes,
right? People would hijack flights, and they would not crash them, and they would just ransom them, and they would land in Cuba, and then they would get their money and get out, right? Yeah. Sorry for, but yeah, I got corrected on that. And then I looked it up, and there was like a ton of incidences of going to Cuba. So I was at least right a little bit, right?
Well, sometimes people correct you, and they also don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, so I don't know. Wikipedia tells me there was a lot, so that's all I know. And I'm sure there's some big Boss Baby fans watching right now who are like furiously typing out an email.
Oh, yeah.
Upset that I accused Boss Baby 2 of having like a Kevin Spacey, known abuser. Well, actually, the first one was Alec Baldwin, and Kevin Spacey was only briefly featured. And
it's funny that it's both Alec Baldwin and Kevin Spacey. They both find themselves...
They both like kill dudes and shit.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin, he didn't even pull the trigger on his thing. Did you know that?
He says he didn't.
Well, he got off for it.
And he said he cocked it, but didn't pull the trigger or something.
Yeah, now the armorer is being on trial for criminal manslaughter. So I'm sure that they're probably going to get a little bit guilty, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing's a nightmare. I mean, but yeah, you shouldn't just have...
Has that movie come out?
It hasn't.
Is what it was called? Are they going to release it?
They're going to release it because they finished it.
That's going to be the craziest movie trivia thing. You know, like Lord of the Rings when Aragorn kicks the thing and he breaks his toe. Every time it comes past that movie, some guy's like, did you know he broke his toe in that scene?
Yeah.
It's going to be like, did you know that Alec Baldwin actually killed someone there?
Yeah. Like, and what if that movie's not good? Like, I don't know. That's like...
That would be really sad.
It would be sad.
To die in a bad movie.
Yeah. Like, we'll see. I don't know. I think it comes... Yeah. Like, I think that was the last time there was an accident like that, I think.
No, it happens to stunt people occasionally, I think.
Or like blanks go off too close or something.
Yeah, I think stunt people regularly get a little bit fucked up for movies, but like they know it going in.
Sure.
It's not an actor getting killed. Like that's
well, and also, right, like they shouldn't have had real bullets anywhere near the movie set, right? Like that's crazy.
Was it even a real bullet? Or was it, well, I mean, it definitely did damage, but...
I think it was live ammunition. I could be wrong.
Live ammunition?
Yeah, which is not...
How did that get on a movie set?
That's a mistake. That's a big mistake.
That's a oopsie for sure.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'll be excited to see what the details are in the manslaughter case. That would be cool. They're not... I don't think they're televising it or anything. I don't know how much details we're going to get from this. But.
No. And then, like, yeah, the Kevin Spacey thing, it's like, for a while there, people that were going to, like, testify just seemed to mysteriously die.
Were they? How many died?
There were like 2 or 3, I think, that died.
Oof, that's
which
crazy.
Is just like...
And he was releasing those videos. He was releasing
every Christmas or whatever.
In character as the fucking...
Frank Underwood.
Frank Underwood.
Yeah.
Talking about how it's a conspiracy against him.
And the last one was with Tucker Carlson.
Wait, he actually had Tucker Carlson on?
Like, he interviewed Tucker Carlson as Frank Underwood, or Tucker interviewed him. It's on like Kevin Spacey's YouTube channel. He put it out, I think, on Christmas. Yeah.
How far Tucker Carlson has fallen.
That's so wild.
That's insane. Can you imagine going from like being the most popular show on Fox News to having to go vlog yourself at a Russian grocery store? Can you imagine?
Dude, yeah.
Like, you know, in the back, he was just like whenever the cameras weren't rolling, he was just talking about like how much his life fucking sucks and how much he hates this.
This is what I'm doing now.
I cannot believe I'm doing this shit. I'm talking about fucking grocery carts in a Russian grocery store, you know?
Because it's like,
he has to be making substantially less money at least.
I would assume so.
But then he got
I don't know how much Elon's paying him.
He got to interview Putin.
And then even Putin was just like, that was the most softball interview ever. I thought he was going to ask me some hard questions.
He asked him some questions, and then he just went on a 25-minute history rant without Tucker Carlson saying a single thing. Yeah, life is a cartoon, man. I cannot believe that we live in a reality where Tucker Carlson has interviewed both Kevin Spacey and Vladimir Putin.
Like, what?
How did we get here? What? All the way, back when he ran that show Crossfire, I think it was on CNN.
Yeah, it's when he wore the bow ties.
The conservative, yeah. Jonathan Stewart made fun of his bow tie back then. Who knows?
He's always been like a spoiled rich kid, right? He always seems like a guy that...
he's always been that spoiled. And
wears Sperry's.
You would think he didn't have much of a future then, that he wouldn't be ending up interviewing Vladimir Putin, right? And now we're here. Do you think Putin is Hitler too? Do you think that he's gonna stop in Ukraine?
No, I don't think so. No.
I don't think he can. And it's just gonna be more. And you look back at this 10 years later, and you're gonna be like, bro, you interviewed Putin. That guy. He killed a bunch of people. Russia's a crazy place, man. Everything I read about their internal politics is just whew, it's so much higher octane than ours.
Yeah, I read.
It's like a Mad Max reality.
Yeah, I read some story about an American family that moved to Russia because
they got all their assets frozen.
Yeah,
and welcome to Russia, bitch.
Yeah.
It's not like you think it is.
It is not.
And they've lost 500,000 people in Ukraine, the Russians, and they're winning, but they're. Can you imagine if we lost 500,000 Americans in another country? I think we lost 30,000 in Vietnam, and that was a big deal. We were all protesting and all that. Kind of stuff. 500,000 people in Russia, and allegedly the country's still, everything's going they're not about to overthrow the government or anything like that. They're just dealing with it. I could not be Russian.
I couldn't imagine.
That sounds awful. I don't know how they do it over there.
Yeah, it's bad enough here.
All right, well, find out next on the next episode what country Russia's invading next.
What an upbeat note to go out on.
We'll be discussing it on the pod. Thanks for listening to the Morning Stand-Up. Do you have anything else you want to plug? This is Patrick Moore, KC, on Instagram if you want to look him up.
Follow me on Instagram. That's great.
He analyzes movies regularly on the local news every Sunday, you said?
Every Friday, 11 a.m. on Fox 4. Yeah.
Nice. So that's why I had him on the show, and so that's it. Thank you.
Go see Dune.
Yeah, go see Dune too. It's the best sequel that I've seen in a long time.
I think so. Yeah,
it was a fantastic sequel.
It's incredible.
I do think it was better than the first, and I do think the first was good. But this was great. I'm gonna work on an impression of Timothée Chalamet's yelling voice.
Oh, I want to see that
because it was really good. But I'm not gonna do it right now.